excited to go. I think the biggest aspect of this year is the youth of the team. And we saw that theme in cross country, and it continues on into track and field. We have a very young team on both genders. Both have lots of freshmen and sophomores, and so that's great in a sense because it's a very talented group of young people. But it makes things a little bit less predictable. And so we'll see how they all kind of settle into collegiate track and field. The training's been going very well, and so all indicators are very positive, but we'll just see how it works out when we get into a championship mode. And we do have, some upperclassmen. I mean, it's a large team. We have people of all ages, but that group is maybe a little smaller, but still a very talented group as well, and proven scorers in the conference. And so as we kind of push up from the middle of the pack here, as we transition from our previous conference, we'll just see. I mean, we definitely have the tools to make progress, but depending on how everybody settles in to their roles, we'll just have to see where that puts us. Generally, track coaches are almost like teachers in school. You have your lesson plans that you go to every year. We have our training plans. And I think all of us, and I can speak to me personally in the jumping events that I work with every day, definitely had to make some adjustments for some of the newer kids. Maybe they can't quite handle the same volume of a workout. You have to back off on the time just a little bit on a running workout, or go back to some very basic drills that we take for granted that some of the older athletes have done before. Well, I've always, over the years, tried to maintain a balance as much as possible with regards to our investment of our resources in the recruiting process. And so when I look at the roster, I see a balance. But when you compare that roster against the conference and the competitiveness of the conference in different event areas, you do start to see some things emerge. Fortunately, this year, the academic calendar is such that we're permitted to travel this first weekend in December, which is when there are a few collegiate meets to choose from. And so that's the thought process behind that. Now, we're only taking 19 men and 18 women. The distance squad is transitioning off of cross country, so they're not really in a place where they want to compete right now. And then in some event areas, especially with some of the upperclassmen, I think the coaches are happy with where they're at, and they don't feel the need to put them into a competitive situation this early. Now, one big thing about this meet too, it's a kind of a check to see where you're at, but it also helps us with some motivation going into the winter break. You come to this first meet in December and you do really well. You're like, oh man, things aren't clicking. Everything's going really well. I need to keep this up over this winter break, and I'll keep going when we get back. If somebody goes and they don't do as well as they expected, then hopefully they're equally motivated to get after it over the winter break. And keep up their training, and so be real prepared for January. Yeah, and it's probably more of an abstract thing. I mean, we've always had a good facility, but reality is it's going to have to be redone now and again. So it's exciting to have the new shiny object. As far as the impact on our training and the quality of it, again, there's kind of an abstract quality to that day in and day out being on a newer facility. As far as how it impacts us, as far as like the times we're running and the injury prevention, I mean, I think those things are real. It's hard to quantify them in this short time, but that's definitely, I think, important over the course of a year to have the new facility.
Right now, definitely high, long, and triple are my main three focuses. Long probably being my strong point at the moment, but I mean, I'm coming in, I'm healthy. I've been working on a lot of the things that have probably kind of held me back, set me back in the past. So it should be, we have a meet coming up in a few days, December 3rd at JDL. So it should be real interesting. The team's actually looking pretty good. We have a lot of young kids that came in that are actually showing real good promise. I was very impressed with a lot of the kids that came in this year, and they've been on the track. They've been working hard. They've been doing what they're supposed to do, So it's going to be pretty good shaped up. Indoors, honestly, it should be pretty well. Outdoors, once they actually get a foot for how everything is worked, how we travel, and how the weight workouts correlate with what we do on the track, they should come out and look really strong come outdoor season.
Currently going into this indoor season, I want to make sure I progress, so I definitely want to break the record that I've set at the school thus far. I don't remember what it is, but I know I want it to improve on it. And, that's happened at practice already, so I just want to be able to execute those same things in the meet that I've done in practice. Well, this is definitely going to sound like common sense, but I think like going through the years when you're in college, you kind of learn how to take care of yourself better and you see things that are more necessary. So I eat a lot more, and the protein that I used to hate to take in the weight room, I do that. So I have a lot more energy, and just getting rest, doing things ahead of time, and that's really helped me. That's translated onto the field. Well, honestly, everything kind of ties into each other, because if I take care of myself now, I'm going to have more energy in the long run. And normally if you start things off right, you start your year off right, then the rest of your season will go the same way. So as long as I just continue to take care of myself, eat well, get sleep, and just execute in practice, I know the same thing will be able to happen when it come meet time.